I have all three 1993 battle bikes from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We'll get to open them up, take a look at them and the figures. But these are a real curious case because I don't remember them being on the show very much at all. They would be on promotional stuff like trading cards and stickers in early merchandise. But I believe what happened is most of the instances where they do drive these in the original Japanese show, the Super Sentai, they're typically not in their morphed like costumes when they're driving them. So they couldn't use the footage. It's totally different characters driving them compared to the Power Ranger cast. So a really cool creation that doesn't get used too much in the actual Power Rangers cut of the show. But we had the merch. So not one I had growing up, but we got them here so we can take a look at them. The figures are also very interesting. We will see why as we take a lock at the Triceratops battle bike. And of course these all have little bio things on the sides of statistics they just made up. Kind of putting over the bikes as like crazy, fast, and powerful. But we have these boxed versions we can kind of take a look at. They're not brand new or anything. We just get to open them up as if they are. They have a little bit of instructions, sticker placement, and a little light assembly. We just have it in this little sleeve here. Just to see the figures, just a little bit different, articulation and size and scale. And we can see right away a big detail missing here, the boots and gloves. We don't have that diamond pattern. I think in Japan these figures would come with a sticker that you could apply on there and get that detail. No such sticker coming with these. We do have the sticker for the weird symbol that all the figures had to have. That would have been like a cool bonus of these if it didn't have that, so you could actually have like a more show-accurate costume. But they popped a sticker on there. That was an early idea. They wanted them to look like superheroes with like their symbol on their chest, like a Superman or Batman or something for some reason. I don't know. They were paranoid, so they didn't know the appeal yet. They got their blade blaster there that fits in the holster. And in the hands, of course, too. So they have a little weapon. Just like a shiny red with a belt buckle. And these legs kind of lock in place. They get loose if you don't be careful with these. A decent movement for them. Again, smaller than, say, the Automorphin, like the flipping head kind of figures that were just more of a US invention. This is more like the figure that would be released in Japan for this time period of merchandise for like these Super Sentai shows. Either get just the figure or with a vehicle thing like the bikes and such. It was either like this or a figure like this. And I know this is Ultraman, but this is how they would be with just no articulation of the legs. Just the arms, and they would have their look. Just with very limited, this would be like the cheaper option that still had a lot of the detail and look of the costumes, but not real articulated or anything. But since you were getting the Super Sentai team, and even the single heroes like this, they had them. So that was kind of your two main types in Japan for shows like this, for figures. They didn't have the bigger 8-inch ones that we had here in the US, or those Automorphin. So it was just kind of interesting. This was like Japan's figures for the show, much more so. But most importantly is the motorcycle. Got the Triceratops look. Stickers already been applied and they're staying on there pretty well. But just a look at that, and then we have the sidecar that actually has the Pink Ranger symbol, because that would be her sidecar to sit in. So they didn't color it pink, it's just the same color as the Blue Rangers here, but looks like we're looking for the side with the screws possibly in the side there, and we have these tabs here on the sidecar, so we can just pop that in. There it is together. It is kind of lame that the other Rangers don't have their own bike themed with like their dino kind of shape, but there's that. Also, you kind of have the problem here of getting like the figure. This one comes with a Blue Ranger but not a Pink Ranger to sit in the sidecar. So it's kind of cool that you can attach the sidecar like that to add it. Or it does work by itself. It has like its own kickstand there if you have it separated. They can just kind of use it as his own bike as well. Just one I remember from marketing more so than the show. Just a lot of trading cards or books and things focusing on that. Actually, it might be a little difficult to situate the Ranger on there with the sidecar because there's not a lot of space for the leg to go down in here. Kind of have to sit long ways on there. And then with the sidecar, there's like some leg holder kind of things here that you can really park one in there tight to stay in the sidecar as well. If we can get a pink Ranger to sit in there. That way we'll get to look at all of the Rangers together at the end. I think that'll be something to look forward to here as we go through all these. That's kind of the end goal for me for a display, you know, to keep them, they don't really do anything other than the rolling around, of course, but vehicle toys, always a winner for the most part. But they can roll around. Rolling in the action, just another step you could kind of play, you know, once they morph, you could get the bikes before they get the Zords and move on up, escalating things against various monsters they'd fight. So I kind of like looking at these as almost like stuff straight from Japan as like repurposed, you know, just like the Zord robot toys and stuff too. We forgot to put the Triceratops horns up into the front there to complete it, just as little extra guns. Again, I don't remember them, even in the Zyuranger Japan Super Sentai show, I don't remember them like shooting on the bikes. I remember them rolling up in them a lot and using them a lot more than the Power Ranger show, but I don't remember them shooting a whole lot on the bikes. There weren't a lot of chase scenes on these, I don't remember. But the Triceratops battle bike. Then we have the Mammoth battle bike, the Black Ranger with the sidecar for the Yellow Ranger. Before you get too angry that just the girl Power Rangers didn't get full bikes, in the original Japan one, the Yellow Ranger was a male, and he was still sitting in the sidecar, so it was just that they did the 3 motorcycles instead of each one getting their own. Oh, we can even see a lot of yellow represented on the bike that way too. The Black Ranger figure, it's like maybe it has a little extra wear and tear here, but they definitely look very different without the diamond pattern on them. The heads just turn side to side, but these arms have little extra hinges and stuff that give a little more movement. That's pretty cool. And then the legs, so they were fairly articulated for this size. I think in the Japanese ones they actually came with the gun, and the gun formed into the blade weapon too. And actually, if you look at the artwork on the back, they have like gold rings around their arms in the pictures, like they're supposed to have like the Green Ranger dragon shield. That was just kind of a strange one to notice there too. No Green Ranger bike either. So really cool with the Mammoth, like the trunk there. We kind of already have the guns attached there. There's no attached piece to go on this one to complete it. And then the sidecar with the saber-toothed tiger of the Yellow Ranger on the side. I thought these were supposed to do like a one side or the other kind of thing, but I mean you can't really turn it that way. So it's not going to work. So it is weird that they're both on the same side of the Blue Ranger one. 'Cause I thought usually they're pictured in a formation, but maybe the red one goes to the other side. We'll have to take a look at that. But again, the Mammoth battle bike looking pretty awesome. Of course, you can park the figures on there a lot better without the sidecar, it feels like. But the articulation does allow for the hands to kind of turn and hold the actual handles on the motorcycle console there. They do look pretty awesome on the bike. Just feel kind of helpless in the sidecar. There's like no weapon. You'd think there'd be like a gun turret or something on those. Like, it's kind of weird. That's where you'd have to kind of buy a extra Ranger to go into your sidecar then. Alright, and then we have the Red Ranger one, which this one's a cool box there because it actually has the price. These were like $13. Seem pretty high compared to some of the other stuff, like the big 8-inch like monsters, and even like the Power Ranger big 8-inch figures were only like $10, I remember. So actually more to get this. You are getting a figure too, but it's a smaller scale figure. Just kind of interesting. And of course the little blaster even has its own little spot in these. The Tyrannosaurus bike with almost like the Gatling gun thing in the front. This is like, dang, don't let him drive at you. Looking good in red. And then here's the sidecar, not for a person to sit in. And this one does go on that other side. That is interesting. So that's in there. Just has the Tyrannosaurus logo, since he's just kind of all his own dude. He's got this big side wheel, and look at this. We got a cannon and a shiny double missile. It looks like that can go right in. And this silver bit in the back is a button to shoot out a missile. So this one's a little more exciting. We got actual firing mechanism. That's pretty cool. Again, not something I remember on the show of him like firing his machine gun, chain gun kind of thing or something, and then missiles and all that. But Red Ranger going solo on his bike. Looking pretty sweet on there. They didn't go all out here. These are just about having the bike. They did include the little gun, but no like power sword and all their like individual weapons or anything. The Red Ranger one getting the missile launch, but you do get the bigger sidecar with the other one, so it's a bit of a balance, but I almost feel like the others should have came with the pink and yellow Ranger figures just to make them more worth it. Or if the merchandise wasn't so stringent about like excluding the Green Ranger for some reason, which that really is, that might be stemming from the secret nature that they would kind of do in Japan with that, but then would have been handy to have like a Green Ranger figure come with this one too, just so they each came with 2 figures. But we didn't get that. They cheaped out. But I think these will look pretty cool with just all the battle bikes together, especially because of all the colors. And they're going to look a lot better if you can get the yellow and pink Ranger to go along with them. So I just felt these were interesting to see the bikes in toy form, since imagine how big they would be for the other figures, like the big 8-inch. That would take up so much space, but they would look pretty amazing. So they went with a smaller scale so we could get these bikes. That was more from the Japanese footage originally. But it was something you always like knew about just from all the merchandising and stuff, even though it wasn't really in the show. But I wanted to share with you like kind of the merchandise elements that were just mostly from Japan, where they would have this style of figure. This was like the main action figure for the Rangers from this time period. Again, all the kind of 90s Super Sentai shows. And then the big focus, of course, was the transforming Zords, or whatever they would be called in their own shows. They were usually gods, even though they were just pilotable machines and mechs. So I kind of look at this set as almost owning the Zyuranger, like Dino Squadron, Super Sentai kind of merch in a way, because not really featured in Power Rangers per se, but part of the kind of dual nature of the show, like the costumes and everything. I like both shows now. Obviously, as a kid, I just knew the Power Rangers, so it's fun looking back now as these nostalgic toys that I knew about, and then getting to see the origins nowadays, getting to see the Japanese show, getting to see more of the stuff, you know, more of the monsters, more of the Zord stuff, and more stuff like the bikes that you just didn't get to see. So some classics from 1993, plenty more Power Ranger stuff, and just stuff all through the 90s, because that's when I was really playing with a lot of toys, and that's where they made the most impression for me. So I open and show all kinds of toy lines from this time period, hoping you'll find a reason to stick around here. Click on the channel and see all sorts of stuff that I've covered. That way I'll get to see you in the next video.